you and Inoue if he decides to separate the division. What do you first of all think of his performance against TJ Dehaney?
I only seen a little highlight. I think the other leg quit though. Yeah, he hit him with a body shot and he was complaining about his back. His back obviously might have been sore or whatever, but you just carry on, don't you? I think he quit really, mate.
How likely do you feel that a fight with you and Inoue can materialise?
Yeah, I feel like it could happen. Everyone's speaking about it, you know. As soon as it gets mentioned, his name, I'm getting mentioned with it. As soon as my name gets mentioned, his name gets mentioned with it. So I don't see why it can't happen or it won't happen, you know. And if he's speaking about moving up to my weight, then yeah, don't see why not.
What do you think would happen if you met in the ring with him?
I'll be winning, yeah. Showing him who a monster is.
Good little line.
Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Nick Ball, and I want to talk about the monster himself, Naoya Inoue. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now. Subscribe to the channel. It literally takes one click, so you just go ahead and you do that right now. Also, if you could, hit the thumbs up button. It does help. It shows love and it supports the channel. And I've been saying this lately, and I'm going to say it again. Please circulate the videos. Tell people about fighting words. Tell people about the channel. Help out. So let's jump into this. Nick Ball had a really big win, and he took out TJ Dehaney, who also was an opponent of Naoya Inoue. Now people are kind of like making comparisons. Here's the thing about when you share opponents. There becomes this like comparison. And it's like, well, look what this guy did and look what this guy did. And it's like, okay, that's nice. You know, that doesn't actually tell you anything about what would happen if those two actually competed against one another. You're just sharing an opponent. What you're able to do with one opponent and what I'm able to do with one opponent are two completely different things. Just because you're able to, you know, show a masterclass and maybe I struggle a little bit, well, you know, maybe he does little things that I'm not used to. Maybe in my eyes, not necessarily overall or in general, but maybe in my eyes, this individual could be, you know, a little unorthodox or whatever the case may be. But, you know, the question has been raised, Nick Ball has been asked, and, you know, he's like anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get it. You get in my way, you're going to get it. And, you know, the question with, you know, Naoya is, he's just steamrolling guys. Here's the problem. I'm going to tell you right now. This happens a lot, particularly in boxing or combat sports in general. When you're too good for your own good, it's as if people will scour the earth to find an individual to beat you. You remember the Mayweather era and Maidana had, you know, he kind of roughed Mayweather up. He was a dirty fighter. He was hitting behind the head. You know, he hit below the belt. He was just a dirty fighter, throwing his elbow, threw a knee at one point, but he was a dirty fighter. But nobody saw any of that. The only thing that they saw was he gave Mayweather a hard time. Because of that, people were happy. Because it's just like, sometimes it's boring to watch somebody who's too good. Let me say it like this, more particularly if you're a casual, it gets boring to watch someone who's too good. Because it's so lopsided, it's so one-sided that it's not even entertaining. It's sad at some point. Like I say, usually it turns into an assault. And when you look at Naoya Inoue's fights, it typically turns into an assault where, you know, it's nowhere near competitive. He's just beating this guy up. This guy is now on full-on survival mode. And you would see the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. The guys weren't even touching him. And it's just like, well, if you can't touch the guy, there's no way you could beat the guy. So that's really boring. He touches you, he hits you whenever he pleases, and you can't even lay a finger on him. That's really boring. Let's take it back even further. We had the era of Roy Jones where the man could pretty much do anything he wanted in the ring, and it got boring. Not boring in the sense that it wasn't cool to see the things that he was doing, but nobody would believe this guy's going to beat Roy Jones. There was the Tyson era. Nobody believed this guy was going to beat Mike Tyson. There's just certain times, and you get these characters, these individuals, these warriors, these gladiators. Naoya Inoue is one of them. And so much so that now the talk and the thought process is, well, maybe you should move up again. Because like I said, you're just beating these guys up. They're not much competition for you. So why don't you move up again? We have this crazy guy by the name of Nick Ball. He's young. He's big. He's big, but he's big. Strong. Fearless. Hits hard. Aggressive. Won't be stopped. Yeah, it would be a fun fight. It absolutely would be a fun fight. When I look at Nick Ball, I see a Viking. I see somebody who's relentless, who's fearless, as I said, who's very aggressive, who's going to come forward. He's going to throw everything 100%. And then I look at Naoya Inoue, and I see a samurai. I see an individual his game is built on precision, speed and timing, and patience. Two completely different contrasts of individuals. So would it make for a great fight? Of course it would make for a great fight. Of course it would. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Of course it would make for a great fight. Absolutely. Who's faster? Naoya Inoue. I mean, not only because he's coming from a much smaller weight class, moving on up, but I just think he has a faster twitch anyway. One thing about Nick Ball is he has a lot of muscle. And I'm not a fan of guys who fight and they have a lot of muscle. Me personally, it slows me down. That's the reason why I don't lift weights. It just slows me down. I mean, to each his own, but you can see the physique in certain individuals. I remember when Anthony Joshua looked like, Black Hercules, and now he looks like a regular dude because he realized he didn't have the stamina to go 12 rounds. He realized those championship rounds got extremely more difficult just because of the size of his biceps. There's no way Nick Ball is faster than Naoya Inoue at all. Who hits harder? I don't know. It could be the same, honestly. I mean, Nick Ball is bigger, and, he's a strong kid. You can't take that away from him. Why you look at Naoya Inoue, yeah, he's knocking people out, but he's knocking people out at a lower weight class. There is a point in a level where you continue to go up that punching power is going to decrease or just not translate to the new weight. Simple as that. I mean, the bigger the guy is, what you were doing with guys, at this weight, we're at 140, then you go up to 154. Yeah, it's going to be different. 147. Yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. How much they can take primarily is a huge factor in difference. Those guys at 140, they couldn't handle, they couldn't go round after round after round, and it's punishment. Now you go up and you're thinking, well, it's just 7 pounds. Yeah, okay. Then that clearly shows that you don't fight. If you think 7 pounds isn't a difference, if you think 7 pounds doesn't make a world of difference between punching power and your ability to take a punch, yes, it plays a difference. Not to mention you moving around for 12 rounds. 7 pounds plays a huge difference. Yeah, it's a difference. So, I more than likely, I changed that. I'd probably give the power advantage to Nick Ball. Precision, Inoue, easy. Let's see, experience, Inoue, easy. Strategy, technique, Inoue, easy. Inoue's been a champion longer. Inoue is a 2-time undisputed champion. That is not an easy task for no man, regardless of weight class. And then for him to go up in weight, that is not an easy task for no man, regardless of weight class. Very few can do it. Yeah, we're all eventually going to have to go up in weight class because we're only getting older. And the older you get, the harder it is to get the weight off. But that doesn't mean you're going to get better. It doesn't mean that, all that skill that you had there is going to transfer over to the new weight. It just doesn't mean that. And typically, it doesn't mean that. Not for everybody. That's what separates. You have regulars, you have greats, you have good in the middle. It's as simple as that. Naoya Inoue is great. I think Nick Ball will be a fun, one more fun, fan-pleasing fight. Absolutely. But do I think he can handle the onslaught of the monster? No. Do I think he's faster? No. Do I think he can handle the combinations of the monster? No, I don't. Do I think he's as smart as the monster? No, I don't. Do I think he can handle, he can adjust to what the monster's doing? No. But I do know the monster can adjust to what he's doing. Nick Ball only has one gear. That's go, go, go. And he only has one mode of anything, and that's just go straight through whatever's in front of me. Why you look at Naoya Inoue, he's a thinker. No, I don't think Nick Ball can handle the monster. I really don't. I just don't. Yeah, he's smaller. I get it. I totally get it. He's smaller. And yeah, I would put my money on to say that Nick Ball hits harder. But that's it. You're bigger and you hit harder. That's it. You don't have the experience factor. You don't have the strategy factor. You don't have the adjustment factor. That's it. You don't have anything. You have a belt. You're not a two-time undisputed champion. See, there's a champion, then there's a champ. Naoya Inoue is the champ. There is a huge difference. Like I said, I think it'll be an amazing fight. I would love to see it. But here's the thing about, him going up in weight. He just got to this weight class, basically. Let the man adjust to this before we start putting him in other fights. But overall, I think it's the overall establishment. It's like, oh, you're so good. It's a catch-22. You're so good, we want to see you fail. You're so good, we'd like to see you fall. We're so good, we just want to see somebody hurt you. You're so good, we want to see somebody, beat you for like 6 rounds, and then you have to rally yourself back. Why? Like, listen, greats come along. It's as simple as that. Greats come along. And we're living in an era with a great. I think, in a way, is a great.